All right, what is up, sports fans? We are back for another episode of The Fan in the End. I'm your host, as always, Stephen Rychel. To the right of me, the man on the mic, Mr. Marvin Powell III, and beneath me, the big man, as always, Mr. Ben Troupe. Fellas, how are we doing this Wednesday morning?
It's all good, man. Happy to be here. Let's do
Bless.
this.
Always happy to be here. Let's do it.
Yeah. A lot of
midweek shenanigans, as always, here on the South Florida Tribune. So let's kind of dive right into it. We were talking a little bit beforehand about but right before we popped on, I'm just going to kind of jump right back into that. Was it the right decision for Nick Sirianni to sit the starters last week against the Washington Commanders and kind of give some of the guys a much-needed rest, a kind of makeshift bye, so to speak? I'm going to take about it, a few different ways. One, the Washington Commanders were still awfully wound up, from all the extracurriculars that happened at the end of the last game 2 weeks ago, right? You're getting ready to play for the possibility of being able to go back and try to attempt to win back-to-back championships. You have an offensive line that's been banged up, a defense that's been out there an awful lot this year. You do leave you do leave the possibility of earning that 2 seed with the Bears falling to Detroit last week. You can't foresee those things happen. They did accrue a couple injuries on the field this past week. You had 3 guys go down. Backup tight end, backup safety. So, I think as much as I would rather have the 2nd seed, I think it's a fair trade-off. Modern history shows when they have the bye that they do perform better in the playoffs. So it sucks not having the 2nd seed. Don't get me wrong. I much rather have the guarantee to have the second home game. But I like this matchup against San Francisco. I think it's a better matchup. I think it's something to get this team fired up about. They need a reason to be fired up at this point in time because we've seen how they've been just hot and cold throughout the year. Especially on the offensive side of the ball. I hope the offensive line really shows up. I mean, everyone's been talking about the offense this, the offense that. I think it starts up front. You've had Lane Johnson out for a period of time. You've had Landon Dickerson out for a period of time. You've had Cam Jurgens out for a period of time, and you've seen the effects of that with their play. I think the unit as a whole, I think we can all agree they were the best offensive line in football last year. I could barely say that they're top 10 this year. So I think if I have any questions, it's about the offensive line. We can rip Kevin Patullo apart. And I want to get to that one in a second. Everyone's so upset about Kevin Patullo. That the offense is having a down year. It's this terrible this and terrible that. Whoa. Jalen Hurts had the most passing touchdowns of his career this year, right? Saquon Barkley still went over 1,000 yards. He had 2K last year. He wasn't going to duplicate that. Both AJ and Smitty had 1,000 yards receiving. That is the first time in Eagles history that they had 3 consecutive years with their number 1 and number 2 wide receivers going for over 1,000 yards. Dallas Goedert had a career high in touchdowns, set a team record in touchdowns at the tight end position. So what you're looking at is when talent absolutely outplays the coaching. We could sit there, there's plenty of stuff that leaves to be desired about what Kevin Patullo's done with this offense in this season. But the players are still doing whatever is necessary to make sure they perform when it's on the field. So I'm not super upset about not getting the 2 seed, but the offense is better than a lot of people are giving them credit for. We know what the defense is without a doubt, right? I don't think the offense is getting enough credit, and it's because they're inconsistent. It's because they lead the league in 3 and outs. So I think it was the right move, and I'm excited for this matchup. Let's start off with Marvin. You think? What do you think? Do you think it was the right move to kind of sit them, or would you rather see them go after one game and go get that 2 seed?
To be honest with you, I am surprised that they didn't chase the 2 seed I thought that they'd want that opportunity to sit their players. I thought it was, I thought they had a winnable matchup with their starters. But at the same time, man, listen, we're talking about week 18 of the NFL. The human body was not made for this. You know what I'm saying? And if you have an opportunity where you've clinched the playoff, you got guys who've been banged up, and you mentioned it, injuries everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Particularly at the O-line. It's one of those things where you got an opportunity to rest some of these big guys who are all playing hurt at this time of the season. Nobody's clean. Everybody got something. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? And you might not know about it. The media might not know about it. They might not say nothing to nobody. Trust me. Everybody's dealing with something. So, I think the coach, this is him playing chess. This is him being strategic. This is him saying, or we're already in there. Let's rest these guys. Let's get them off their knees. Let's get that pressure off them joints because them joints is aching. Believe me. So I don't have a problem with it. I don't. I also believe in rhythm. I think it's important, to stay in rhythm and keep guys in rhythm. But listen, he's a Super Bowl champion coach. This guy is a successful coach. We have to give him some type of credit, for what his record truly is and what he's done with this team. In regards to this matchup against San Fran that you say you're so ready for, I'm gonna tell you something. Brock Purdy on fire right now. Brock Purdy is truly on fire right now. And when I see him out there doing the Dougie, you know what I'm saying, and feeling himself and just see what his numbers are, the amount of touchdowns he has, like in the last 2 or 3 games. This guy's out here, he's balling, man. I mean, listen, Kyle Shanahan getting it done to anybody, but I feel like Brock Purdy, especially after watching that game against the Bears, I feel like Brock Purdy is, playing at a certain level, and I think he's going to give the Eagles all they can handle. I believe that. I'm not predicting that they go out there and beat y'all at the crib, but I think that they're going to pose a much bigger problem than people realize. So yeah. And what was the other point, Steve, that you had made? The other question?
Well, I think you covered on it. If it was the right move to sit the starters, and I was just kind of going over, all the stats this offense had put up, despite the fact that everyone thinks they have an inferior, offensive coordinator. The players are outperforming the coaching that they're getting. And we already got the troll started.
Yeah, but okay,
hey, Brooke, how's Cancun for your boys, brother? How's Cancun for you? I had to get that in there. Sorry.
You brought up the numbers. That was the point that I had missed. I mean, listen, I'm one of these people who I admit, for some reason, I have some type of issue giving the Philly offense, giving Jalen Hurts the credit he probably deserves. I think it's, again, style of play that gets me with him. I love the fact I love how he handles the media. I do. I think, that's intentional. And I think he's just showing, emotional intelligence more than we give him credit for, because they asked him some silly stuff. But, the truth is, for as much as I love how he handles it, I do wish he was a little bit more personable. And that also may be an issue, you know what I'm saying? Because for as much as I'm, ex-player, son of ex-player, I'm also a big fan, you know what I'm saying? And I love these guys, all of them, and I want to see their personalities. But the numbers speak for itself, man. That offense, for as much as we say the offense isn't the same and the offense hasn't produced, man, those numbers you put up speak volumes, you know what I'm saying? And we talk about back-to-back years with 1,000-yard receivers. I mean, that's significant, you know what I'm saying? So, at this point, these defensive coordinators, they have their book on Jalen Hurts. They know how they want to defend him. Every time they see him, obviously they're getting there's more eyes on him and have a greater sense of awareness. But those numbers show that in spite of all that, I mean, they still getting something done. So listen, man, I think a lot of people just have a problem giving the Philly giving Hurts his just due. I think the more we put these numbers out, the more we have to really just rethink how we, what he is and what this offense really is. And in spite of all the injuries, was it really a bad year for the offense? Apparently not.
Ben, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I understand it. I mean, I think in a situation like Nick Sirianni, no matter what he does, is going to be over scrutinized because it's him and because of the team that he coaches. I mean, if they go for the number 2 seed and they win it, they saying, well, you won it, but you shouldn't have had the starters in. If you go for the number 2 seed and you don't get it, they're gonna say most teams have never been in a situation like the Philadelphia Eagles. 1, because they won the Super Bowl, and 2, they trying to defend the Super Bowl. So, and I think Sirianni understands coaching for the Eagles is different. Just like playing for the Eagles is different. You're not the media darlings. That will be the Dallas Cowboys, whether we like it or not, right? Mm-hmm. Jalen Hurts is not one of the faces of the NFL. You know, that will still be Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow, and Drake May. All these guys that Matthew Stafford, certain guys have won something, most of them have not. But if you are, you know, Steve, like yourself, a Phillies fan, a Phillies enthusiast, you've got to be used to this. You should just cue up the little Chan Chow guy. Nobody likes us or whatever they was doing, whatever it is, because people don't like Philadelphia. But if you are Philadelphia, you know, you got to love it. Like that's your fuel. Now, let me say this: NFL players don't need fuel. You in the league, go play. But if you are Nick Sirianni, I mean, you looking around saying, okay, I'm one of the coaches that got a contract extension, and I don't have to worry about being on the hot seat. I know it seems like I'm on the hot seat week in and week out, depending on what does or doesn't happen. But this is the same thing Kansas City dealt with when they was, you know, going through their run. Every time Kansas City loses, the sky's falling. Up, the dynasty is over. Up, Patrick Mahomes can't play. Up, Andy Reid is a bust. Up, Travis Kelce only care about getting married, and so on and so forth. It's par for the course. I would love to have these problems. I would love to have, you know, be the fan of an organization that's, number one, a consistent winner during the regular season, look to go deeper to the postseason, and not just a playoff contender, a Super Bowl contender. So, yeah, I knew it was going to be something to say. And sometimes it's because of who you lost to. Excuse me. Not that you lost. It's the Commanders. They don't have anything else to go off of. Dan Quinn is a head coach, again, in the NFL, after what we saw with what he did or lack thereof with the Falcons. He get to be a head coach again. I don't get it. I'm never going to understand it, Marv. I mean, we talk about the NFL being a business, and so the best players in the world get coached by a coach that ain't one of the best coaches in the world. That's what we doing now. So, hey, what do I know? You know, I mean, you know, I had to root for Dan Quinn when he was the head coach of the Falcons, but we know how that ended up. So, yeah, it's because it was the Commanders. You know, you'll be all right. I mean, that matchup though, woo, right? San Francisco is going to be rough for anybody. If Fred Warner is back, that I mean, he hit everything that moved when he on the field. But Brock Purdy is playing well. Ricky Pearsall, you talk about Christian McCaffrey, you talk about what George Kittle can do. I think it's going to test you guys, which is what you guys want. You know, ain't going to be no easy. Ain't no easy wins in the postseason now. But when you got to deal with San Francisco, that's going. You know, Brock Purdy are definitely earning his check. But Sirianni used to it. You can do no right when you're a Philadelphia Eagles player, coach, content creator, enthusiast, fan, right? But hey, as long as you win in the postseason, it all goes away. But you know what it is. You got two kinds of people watching. You got the people watching to wait to see if you lose, so it validates what they say. Or you got people that's watching to really give a real fair analysis, but those are people that are paid to do it. That's people like us. It's so many trolls. It's a troll being born every day. Every single day. And
we get him all the time. I just had to block some goofus in the chat because he wasn't getting his attention.
Hey man, listen. What about the Niners? The Niners nice.
No, I'm gonna leave it right at this. Let's leave it what Brian Baldinger has to say about this matchup, right? And he's basically like, this is the worst matchup. It's a 4:30 game. The crowd's gonna be juiced. They'll be out of their minds. I was just there on Sunday. There are people inside the Eagles building that are pissed that they sat their key starters and ready for this game. You're going to get a rested team. I agree with him on that. I think that there are a lot of the players at least are like, you know, they wanted to go out there and perform and do their thing. And let's remember it kind of had the same situation at the end of last year too, right? Didn't have a real shot at getting the 1 seed. They sat Saquon down. He didn't go after the rushing record. All those things. So I think we are going to get I think out of all the wild card matchups, I think this is the one we should circle.
I'll tell you like this, man. The one thing that I think about, and I hope it wasn't the case. I hope sitting some of these dudes didn't impact their incentives and their bonuses. I'm hoping that these are conversations they have with the players and individually, and because I've seen some shady stuff go down with them bonuses and these coaches not.
I know we talked about that last week, right?
Yeah, that's a real thing. So at least it was back in 1999.
I think, regardless of the rest side of the thing, this game is going to be exciting. Like, you had people asking back in 2009. They asked Kyle Shanahan, Matt LaFleur, and Sean McVay, whose defense is the toughest to attack. They all said one man, Vic Fangio. So listen, I think when it comes down to it, Eagles win the turnover battle. They win this game. You look throughout the play, what the story is of this playoffs going to be for the Eagles. If they win the turnover battle, limit mistakes, they win these games. Point blank and period. They have the pedigree. They have the defense. You don't make mistakes, you win in the playoffs. I'm just going to leave it at that. Look, we were talking about this last week. The 49ers are one of these stories in the NFL this season that you have to look at. But we also have to look at they had a last place schedule. Same reason why I'm not going to give New England any real love until they win a few games, right? So we're going to see who New England is when we get in the playoffs. They're not playing that bottom feeder schedule that they got. We're going to see if Drake May is really supposed to be this MVP, and we'll get into that one. Let's get into that one.
What's y'all Linebacker name? What's the name? Number 52, Bond.
53, yeah, Zach Bond, yeah. Zach
Bond. Listen, the matchup is going to be Zach Bond versus C-Max. That's going to be the matchup because I believe he matches up well with him. You got to have an athletic linebacker to deal with a guy like C-Mac. We talk about one-on-one. We talk about in the run game. We talk about in the pass game. And, Blankenship being out is going to hurt because you need somebody in the back end, nothing cheap, nothing deep. Keep everything in front of you. And George Kittle.
That's what they said. And the safety that played in his position is the one that got hurt.
Well, the thing for everybody talking about don't play your starters. Listen, it ain't but so many bodies now on game day. Mm-hmm. And yes, if you are a backup, you want to play. Make no mistake about it, you want to play. But backups also start on special teams. So I'm starting on special teams, and then I got to run right back out there on defense. I'm not saying it's a complaint because every football player has earned the right to get out there as a starter. Let me start by saying that. But listen, this ain't college where we got a first team, second team, third team. No, we got a first team and some backups. It ain't a bunch of those. So, and here's the thing. Sometimes the best team to win in the playoffs, you're going to need your backup to step up on special teams to maybe have to fill in for a starter. So don't be trying to use up them guys because them guys could be, a slot filler come playoff time because 18 games of football is a lot of wear and tear on anybody's body, especially depending on how many snaps you had. So don't jump on Sirianni too bad. It's football, man. I mean, either play the starters or not and live with the result. Because if you don't, but the 49ers, there are three teams in the NFC, ain't nobody stepping up to play. The 49ers, the Eagles, and the Seahawks. Ain't nobody, well, let's play them. Well, you got the Eagles and the 49ers, and come this weekend, we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a thriller, though. I think it's going to be a thriller.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like 24-21. It's going to be a 3-point game. I don't think I think this is going to be a defensive battle in the first half of it, and then whoever wins the second half of the game probably wins the game. But I think through the first two quarters, it's going to be like 14-10, something like that. It's going.
If Fred Warner plays, that's good. Depending on how healthy he is, that's gonna make it. So that, I mean, is that really him? That video climbing up that thing, is that really him? Like, you seen the video, the guy climbed up like a pole. I don't know what it is, like at a stadium. Is that really Fred Warner doing that? Have y'all seen this video?
No. I'm not sure what the video you're talking about, bro. But
if I find it, I'm gonna put it up. You seen him doing like the little Super Saiyan martial arts stuff? Is that him on that bag? Y'all ain't seen this stuff?
No.
He's different, man. He did it. He's a different kind of dude. He's like a real life superhero that play football, man. This dude is it's crazy. It's some crazy. If I find the video, I'll show you guys. It's wild. It's wild.
Okay.
So, yeah, you're right, Eddie. Keely Ringo, after that game, man, he needs to. I'm surprised he still got a He still got a spot in the team after just Josh Johnson walking in there. But Janorian Bennett, man, he's a handsy man. He, fellas, I'd watch your rifle around him because he likes to hold on to things. But I want to go over two things real fast, right? The season's over. We're seeing how things shake off in the playoffs, but I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. The perennial contenders for this year's MVP voting seems to be Matthew Stafford and Drake May. This is how they shake down, right? Do you feel that the young gun May might steal this from the grizzled veteran Matthew Stafford, even though Matthew Stafford had a ridiculous amount of touchdown passes this year, 46 touchdowns, right? But I think his performance over the last few weeks, the fact that the Rams went from the 1 seed to the 5 seed there, or I believe it's 6 seed. Sorry, having to play Carolina now. They've lost to Carolina within this last month. I think plays a factor into it, unfortunately. But if you're asking me what my vote is, I think Matthew Stafford should get it because the years he was playing on his back, playing in Detroit, the beatings he's taken down there, and to see him kind of get a second light there in with the Rams and the seasons he had, the number, well over 4,000 yards passing, things of that nature. Being in that NFC West which is produced 3 different playoff teams, I think should put them in there. Again, nothing against Drake. We were already talking about it last night with the ridiculous comparisons we had to do, but they didn't have a first place schedule to go against the tougher competition. And memory serves me that they were 0-2 against playoff teams. So I like Matthew Stafford to be the MVP. I hope he wins the MVP. I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. Ben, is Matthew Stafford this season's MVP in your mind?
Yes, Matthew Stafford is the because I always look at style of play. I look at the conference that you play in. Nothing against Drake May and what they was able to do this year. But how many people you think Drake May is a better quarterback than Josh Allen?
No.
And the reason why I say that is this. Look, numbers can't be the reason why you win the MVP. If that's the case, Josh Allen don't win it last year. Lamar Jackson does, because Lamar Jackson had a way better year stat-wise, right? Mm-hmm. No, we're looking at what you did for your team. Okay, Drake May is in his conference. When the last time the Dolphins did anything in the playoffs? Okay, the Jets they done went through a lot, right? They've so we talking about the 2 teams that make the playoffs every year in that division every year, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody said that San Francisco had the easiest schedule. No one knew how good Seattle was. And it came down to the last game of the year to decide who won the division. I think the thing about Matthew Stafford is 37, 38 years old. Most guys, that's in the twilight of their career. They ain't talking about MVPs. There's only one guy I remember that late in his career we're talking about, and that's Tom Brady, right? I like what Drake May has done this year. But if every playoff team you went up against you lost to, that's saying something. That just means that you didn't play against a lot of you beat everybody you played against. I get a 14-3. They had a really, really good season. I just think that when you look at what Matthew Stafford, I believe you take Drake May off the New England Patriots, they still make the playoffs. I still think they make the playoffs. You take Matthew Stafford off they're not making the playoffs. They're not making it. So and here's the thing too, Puka Nacua, right? Is Puka that good? Yeah. But Matthew Stafford gonna get in the rock. Like Matthew Stafford's gonna do. What do Matthew Stafford have in common that no one else can say? Matthew Stafford threw to another guy that has that. What was it? Cooper Kupp. Remember him? So he's had a Puka. Puka is the reason why Cooper Kupp is obviously a Seattle Seahawks. So I just think that when you look at the way Matthew Stafford plays, what he's been, Matthew Stafford has been like this since he came out of Georgia. He's been doing this since he left Georgia. So I like what Drake May has done. I am taking nothing away from what Drake May has done. I think the team around Drake May, just like people don't want to give love to a Jalen Hurts, I'm gonna say the same thing with Drake May. Good player, but that team is pretty freaking good around him. I think the thing about Matthew Stafford and company is, if Matthew Stafford, who missed the whole preseason, everybody thought, man, how was he gonna play, man? I mean, he's older, MVP type stuff. I think Matthew Stafford, he's done everything but win an MVP. And I'm not saying it's a career achievement award. I'm not saying that either. But I think this is the year he does get it. If Drake may get it, I wouldn't be surprised. But the NFC West, and you put up numbers like that, I think it's Matthew Stafford. I do. I think he's a guy that gets lost in the shuffle when we talk about elite quarterbacks and elite quarterback play. I think he's the youngest at 10,000, the youngest at 20,000, the youngest at 30, youngest at 40, youngest at 50. I think he's in the 60s right now. So put him on the squad, and he gets it done. And that's the only player in Detroit history they done right by. Didn't do right by Barry Sanders, made him retire. Didn't do right by Calvin Johnson, made him retire. They let Matthew go for Jared Goff. Well, how is that working out? I guess they made the right decision, I guess. But no, I think Matthew Stafford is the MVP of this season, even though I think Drake May is a young, budding superstar over there. You got to show me more than 1 year, even though he had a really, really good year this year.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Marvin? Stafford over May, or do you have another choice in there?
No, I mean, listen, I love Stafford for all the reasons Ben just laid out. I mean, really his success within the conference and the division, considering the caliber of teams he's playing against, and you look at the numbers he's putting up. I mean, granted, it's 17 games now, and I do emphasize that because I have an issue with, as to how we look at
that in a minute. We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay, but that's an issue that I have. But no, I mean, still 46 touchdowns is phenomenal. I don't care if you play 16, 17, 18 games. That's something that represents, greatness and just being at an elite level. Because these NFL defenses are not just good, they're great, man. You got a lot of really smart coaches out there that scheme it up. They got a lot of film on Stafford. And with that said, he out there carving people up. I mean, some of these no-look throws are just amazing. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of guys actually do that. They don't publicize it. But, man, he's mastered that no-look throw. You know what I'm saying? Especially that no-look slant, that quick slant. But with all that said, I cannot imagine. I disagree with Ben. I cannot imagine what the New England Patriots would look like, even though they play in that sorry division minus Buffalo. I couldn't imagine what the Patriots would look like without their star quarterback, Drake May. Listen, I watched this kid, from time to time on Sunday. I'm aware of his numbers as I'm a fantasy football freak. This guy puts up big games. This guy, he does with it what he's supposed to do with it. And I think that their entire team, to Ben's point, is coached up. I think the Patriots are now a much better ran team. I think Vrabel's doing a much better job as a head coach. I think he has experience. I think, again, coming from the Belichick world, he absolutely picked up some great habits and learned some stuff. But his team definitely is coached up. They play well. But Drake May is the biggest difference on that team, man. I think that Sean McVay would have a better job, do a better job in having to replace Stafford than the Patriots having to replace May. I think without May, the Patriots sink. I mean, you haven't, honestly, and I hate to say it, you haven't seen a guy come in there and command and take control like you have.
He's taking shots at your boys, man.
They would, and I thought that, and actually had thought that they would be the Jets. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, listen, it's Brady-ish how he's such a factor. You know what I'm saying? Belichick's a 500 coach without Brady. You know what I'm saying? You put in a competent quarterback, a high-level quarterback, and no, he's not Brady. I'm not putting him in that conversation, but things that he's doing to me are Brady-ish. You know what I'm saying? Just being that you're the single biggest reason why your team is what it is. So this kid's in the middle of a phenomenal year. I think people really aren't looking at them seriously enough. I mean, I think he elevates the whole team. I do. So for me, I'm looking at May as the MVP. And I think Stafford is, having an incredible year. The benefit to being a veteran quarterback, if your body can hold up, is the game continues to slows down. he's watching this thing go out like it's the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? He's seeing it so slow. You know what I mean? He just carving people up. And as a fan of the game, I appreciate that. I love watching them play. But man, I couldn't imagine. You look at how good the Patriots are, how good they've played at times, and what they can do potentially in these playoffs. I couldn't imagine them without Drake May.
Yeah. Listen, again, I'm not trying to like rain on the Drake May parade. I'm really not. I just think that Matthew Stafford has the better numbers. He's playing in a tougher division. Literally, you have 3 teams in the playoffs over 10 wins. Over 10 wins. Not at 10 wins, over 10 wins. So, I mean, you got to show something into that. So, I think Stafford edges them out, but I don't think it's like a runaway where Matthew Stafford's going to get like 40, 47 votes and Drake May barely gets a handful. I don't think it's going to be like that. I think it will be a close race, but Matthew Stafford takes the edge there. And as we're talking about some of those postseason awards rather, I want to touch on the Rookie of the Year, right? And we got a couple candidates there. The McMillan down there with the Carolina Panthers obviously got them into the playoffs. Doesn't have the 10 plus touchdowns, so I think that might play into it. Just barely over 1,000 yards. Jackson Dart, though missing 4 games at least. 24 passing, 24 total touchdowns rather. Only threw 5 interceptions. That's almost unheard of for a rookie, and almost threw for over 3,000 yards. Now we were talking about Tyler and those New Orleans Saints last night, what he accomplished during his time in there, and we were just talking about the Pats. We got to talk about Trayvon Henderson, right? Over 1,000 all-purpose yards, has the 10 touchdowns. I think that's one of those key marks, right, that you have to sit on there when you're talking about that Rookie of the Year. Jackson Dart, I think, is kind of the guy that's going to run away with this. The New York kid, right? That location matters when it comes to some of these things sometimes, and the fact that he missed 4 games and still kept it under 10 interceptions, I think might kind of give him the upper hand. But I would not be surprised if they wound up giving it to somebody like Trayvon Henderson. What are your thoughts, Marvin? Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, really impressed by Trayvon Henderson. Over 1,000 yards, total offense, 900 rushing, 200 receiving. Really just showing you, he's a complete back. You know what I'm saying? And that's outstanding. Old school runner, runs hard, runs tough. And he definitely was a breakout guy. With that said, it is no question that the former USC Trojan, the former Ole Miss Rebel, Jackson Dart, with his 24 touchdowns, should run away with Rookie of the Year. I'm gonna tell you right now, I've loved watching this kid play since he was at SC Ole Miss. He was a great college player. He plays, this really tough old school game. But this dude, he needs to change his style of play. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Listen, these NFL quarterbacks are not built like defenders. They don't train like defenders. There ain't no Cam Newtons out there, and he ain't Cam Newton. And even Cam Newton went down times.
He makes a good point in here too, because Dart didn't play with Neighbors this year. Could you imagine if he had?
That's what I'm saying. Neighbors? Listen, he absolutely is one of those rookies that came in really ready to play. He had great coaching, definitely by Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin, you can definitely say is a quarterback developer, and that time at Ole Miss really impacted him. He had a bunch of starts in college, so he came in playing at a high level. But yeah, he's the Rookie of the Year, man. I love Tyler Shark from New Orleans. I think they have a guy that they can look at going into next season. And without question, the receiver out of Carolina, you put up 1,000 yards, 70 receptions, and allowed Bryce to have somewhat of a breakout year, if you will. But yeah, Jackson Dart, man, really great for that city. Him and Scatterboo and Neighbors. I mean, they have something there. They got to figure out their leadership, obviously, with the head coach position as it's open. But Dart looks like he could be somebody. You hear a lot of talk about whether they should let him go, because you got a couple quarterbacks in this draft and, whether they should move on. But no, this guy has given you Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's injected life into that city where there has been none. He saved their GM's job, point blank and period. If it wasn't for Jackson Dart this year, Joe Shane would be on the unemployment line like half the other GMs and coaches just got fired over the last 48 hours.
Yeah, listen, I heard him, and I believe I want to say it was Mad Dog Radio. They had some people in there talking about, should you focus on this draft? I may have been Stephen A. Smith, but I think if you can get that recklessness out of him, that thinking he's a fullback, get that out of him, coach that out of him. I think you got a dude who's very special as a thrower, and he's a good athlete, leadership, rookie of the year for sure.
All right, Ben, your thought, is
I love what Henderson did. I mean, when they finally put him into the lineup, I mean, he was obviously a threat. First, running back kicks, and then you look at what he's meant to that running game and to the passing game. Kind of created balance for a guy like Drake. Man, when I got a guy I can hand it off to or just throw it to out the backfield. Tyler Shuck, to me, is the guy in New Orleans. It was never about Tyler Shuck. It was who everybody thought was going to get drafted there was Shedeur. So he got caught up in that wash, which he really had nothing to do with that. You mentioned Jackson Dart and what he's meant to that new to that Giant franchise since he got inserted to the lineup. Cam Scatterboo gone, Malik Neighbors gone. I mean, I know that Wandale said he might want to come back, next year having over 1,000 yards. But to me, I think it's Ted McMillan. And here's why. You talk about a guy who went in the top 10. People was thinking, dude, Arizona receiver. I mean, is he going to be ready to be a number one? To be a number one receiver in the National Football League means you finna pull that safety to your side and you might get double the line. And the NFC South for a team that has Carolina Panthers wasn't going nowhere fast. They had Xavier Legette, second-year first rounder out of South Carolina. He didn't do anything. You talk about a guy in Coker, who came back out off of injury his second year. He was okay. Ted McMillan has been rock solid. Emeka Egbuka out of Ohio State fell off the planet after about the first game. I thought he was going to be the runaway, the way he was playing. But Ted McMillan is helping Bryce Young and company get in the playoffs. You take him off that offense, they're not getting in. You got to have somebody you can get the rock to. I'm not saying that his impact was bigger than that of a Jackson Dart. No one's impact is going to be bigger than the quarterback. You touch the ball every play. But I've watched a lot of Ted McMillan this year, and I didn't think he was going to be the guy. I was like, okay, he'll go out there and be a possession guy. 70 catches, over 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns in 1 year. Shoot, that's pretty good when you talk about a guy who was picked. He don't got no mentor. It's not like when Steve Smith got to the Carolina Panthers, he had a Musa Muhammad. No, it's him. Who's going to mentor him? Nobody. Hey, man, you got to just figure it out. Okay, and I got to go up against, the Rams, the Seahawks. You got to go up against the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Commanders, and he's found a way to be super duper consistent. So to me, I think it should, because starting week 1 and being consistent to week 18 got to mean something. Now, Jackson Dart going to be looked at the same way Vince Young was in 2006 when he came to the Titans. A guy that didn't start, but they're going to say what could have been had he had his weapons. And we get it. But I agree with something you said, Marvin. Somebody going to have to sit that young man down and go, do you know how to slide? Because you need to learn how to slide. Quarterbacks don't make it. Quarterbacks don't make it the league wrong right now.
I send him down to spring training with the Mets or something. Be like, listen,
he's a good player. I mean, I wouldn't be. To me, it's a 2-man race out of McMillan and Jackson Dart, but I would give it to McMillan for the simple fact that most teams, if you got a number one receiver, that ain't a running game, but that's a guy that bails you out of bad situations. You're going to take him in one-on-one situation, and he's going to win them 50-50 balls. I was very, very surprised. It's been a long time. I think he broke Kelvin Benjamin's rookie record when he first got there from Florida State. So, yeah, I like what the young man is. I mean, he's 6'4". He can run. His mom said, don't call him Tech, call him T-Mac. All right, Mama Mac. You say call him T-Mac. I thought T-Mac, played in the NBA. But we got a T-Mac, you know what I'm saying, in the NFL now. But wouldn't be surprised if it was Dart. Very, very impressed by Henderson. Very, very impressed by Shuck, but I would give it to Ted McMillan.
Can't hear you, Marvin. Can't hear you.
The thing about Dart, just going back to his reckless play, man, This guy has been in concussion protocol 5 times this year. 5 times already. That's what you're dealing with, that label. So, I mean, there's no way in the world that they go into this next offseason and the Giants don't sit this dude down with a plan as to how we got to change up this football fullback style of quarterback play you got going on, man. That was my last take on that.
It's something we talked about. I think it was last week we mentioned it. No, it was the week before when Ben wasn't here. We had a Giants fan in the chat asking if we thought that Dart was a Pro Bowler. I don't think he's gonna have missing the first few games and missing a handful of games due to injury. Like the Pro Bowl, I don't know why anyone cares who's on the Pro Bowl or not. The thing that matters is all pro.
Yeah, I'm about to say he could be a pro. No one's gonna be mad if he is a Pro Bowler, but them all pro teams. That's the one that not even the voters can mess it up because the fans vote. I mean, I think Travis Kelce was like number 1 in voting, and half of those are Swifties. Those are Taylor Swift fans vote for him. I ain't mad at him. I'm not mad at him.
Travis playing chess, y'all. Come on.
Hey, look. Let me say this. Travis Kelce made more money.
Remember,
he made a lot of money for the NFL in the postseason last year. I'm just saying, the guy that was involved. The guy that was had to make sure he was on the Taylor Swift camera. She got a lot of airtime. I ain't mad. Look, I'm not mad, man. Celebrities marry celebrities when it makes financial sense. It makes sense. And you think if they said Mr. Swift, you think Travis Kelce gonna get mad at that? No, he shouldn't. He shouldn't.
No, he the only thing you might say is that you guys can call me Travis. That'd probably be the only thing he'd say. But yeah, like we're talking about Kelce, he passed 13,000 yards this season. So he, regardless of us getting irritated of the media pushing the whole Swift thing, he's gonna be a top 3 tight end of all time. I know, but I seen the smirk there, Ben. Ben don't want to hear it.
Oh no. He's for every metric. Because here's the thing, right? Every metric, it's hard. I'm gonna say this: the Godfather, the best tight end. I'm gonna keep best and greatest is different. Best, I believe the best tight end to ever pick up a football is Tony Gonzalez. He's the best, like as far as like numbers go. The greatest. They both played in Kansas City, right? I'm gonna keep saying this. I'm never gonna put anybody over Shannon Sharp when you're talking about the greatest because it's when you did it. I'm telling you, 10,000 yards for a guy. Shannon Sharp, when he played, was probably 235. He was not that big as a tight end, right? Mm-hmm. Over 10,000 yards. You know who got the longest play from scrimmage in the postseason? That would be Shannon Sharp. I'm telling you. But what I seen with Gronk, Travis Kelce and Gronk did this. Travis Kelce and Gronk made the tight end position the it position. Like, it's like the outside linebacker, man. Like, people want to play tight end. But I'm going to say this, too. There is no such thing, arguably, as the greatest. It's subjective because I talk about the numbers, but you got to stay away from the numbers, too, because the guy there isn't a better receiver for what they needed for his team than Lynn Swann when he played for Pittsburgh. He got 500 catches. But what they needed, if they wanted Lynn Swann to catch 1,000, he would have had 1,000. They didn't need that from him. So numbers are one thing, but I will say this about Travis Kelce. If there is a tight end, Mount Rushmore, he's on it.
Oh, yeah.
Period. He's on the tight end. Now, who the other 3 going to be? I think Gronk is on it. I think Shannon Sharp is on it. Mine now, I'm biased. Yes, I'm biased, Marvin. And number 4, because once again, who records were you chasing? You were chasing 2 guys' records usually. You were chasing Tony Gonzalez. You were chasing Shannon Sharp. Now Jason Witten is number 4 all time. But greatest means everything there is to achieve in football. I've done it. Super Bowls, All Pros, the most yards in the Gronk done did it. Travis Kelce done did it. Shannon Sharp done did it. Tony Gonzalez done did it. Jason Witten did it, and it's a lot more than that. I mean, I'm just saying it's a lot more than that. It's just Kellen Winslow Sr. could be. It's too many tight ends, man. I feel like Deion trying to pick DBs, man. It's hard because I don't want to diminish Ozzie Newsome. You know what I'm saying? Mike Ditka. I don't want it. I don't, Navarro. I don't want to do that.
So because this is my thing I was gonna say to you. So when you say that these dudes, are the people on the list, right? And I'm hearing you name all these new tight ends in my world, because I grew up in a day where Ozzie Newsome was obviously the best tight end ever, and Mike Ditka, as a young tight end rookie, we haven't seen anything like that.
John Mackey, yeah,
nice. So, but are you separating eras when you say these dudes are the best?
I have to, and the reason why I have to is this. Okay.
I can't.
The reason why Shannon Sharp did it when it wasn't a throwing lead. They wasn't throwing the ball.
Right.
And so when it's like this, when you did it, had just as much impact that you did it at all. Because remember when 50 throws was unheard? They don't have 50 throws in a regular season game now.
Yeah.
How many throws you had last week? 52. So I am not taking away what Travis Kelce has done, but I look at it in royalty. Travis Kelce, football royalty. Tony Gonzalez, that's football royalty.
Does blocking matter? Does blocking matter in your book? Blocking.
Yes.
Does?
That's why I said the greatest is Shannon Sharp. Who did Shannon Sharp block for? Shannon Sharp blocked for 2 2,000-yard rushes, for people who forget. Jamal Lewis went for 2,002. And Terrell Davis. So we don't want to do that. I'm saying when it comes to tight ends, you cannot put up numbers. I didn't think numbers like Tony Gonzalez would even be halfway touched with what he's done. He's third all time in catches. And so I just think that let me say this. There is no such thing as the greatest. It is subjective because if I'm talking to old lineman, right? And I say, hey, man, what about Marvin Powell? They're going to say, they're going to sit back in their chair. They're going to say, that dude. Because the eye test is a part of it. I get it. But I think the only way you ask people this, man, what was it like dealing with this dude? Oh, man. Yeah, he was different. Patrick Mahomes, that matters. Tom Brady, that matters. I saw Dallas Clark when he played for the Colts, man. Mr. No Gloves himself. Mm-hmm. Nasty at the tight end position, right? So it ain't no greatest, man, because that's like asking me who the greatest running back of all time. Who the greatest? You cannot play better than Barry and Sweetness and Jim Brown. You can't. I don't care what the numbers say. You can't play better than that. So it's subjective, but if I had to pick 4 on the Mount Rushmore, mine, I wore number 84 because of Shannon Sharp. I am from the backwoods of Georgia, like Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp went to Savannah State. Shannon Sharp's biggest fan is his big brother. My biggest fan is my big brother, right? I'm just telling y'all, Shannon Sharp lived with his grandma in a house with a tin roof. My great grandma had a tin roof, 2-bedroom, one. We got too many similarities. All right? I'm saying he's on Mount Rushmore. So is Gronk. So is Tony Gonzalez. If I really had, I tell you what, forget that. This is my 4, and people don't got to like it. I'm going to go Gronk. I'm going to go Shannon Sharp. I'm going to go Travis Kelce, and people got to like. My number 4, just to throw Algie Crumpler. That's my 4. Love Algie. Love it. Didn't have the numbers, but I'm just saying. It ain't no such thing. Listen, when I start my show, I'm going to have a show coming up where I'm going to be talking about these type of things, and I'm going to start with saying there is no greatest. Why? Because
dude, you can't. I don't want to hear goat anymore because there is none. There's no such thing as one. There's so many subjective things that we could talk about when it comes to these things. So I say this.
Novacek.
That go. John Mackey got an award named after him in college.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, I to be in the conversation of anything when you start talking about greatness in sports. That's to me, that's the greatest achievement. When people are arguing about your place, man, what you mean? That's when, because football is what the fans say about you, but it's what the guys that played against you said. That's a real barometer of You know, when I'm talking fullbacks, Lorenzo Neal, I'm gonna start right there. I'm gonna just start with Lorenzo. He wasn't, you know. I'm just saying, man. Stop. Love that the tight end position is the it position, though. Zach Ertz, Greg Olsen, L.J. Smith. Man, don't get me started, man. It's too many tight end, man. Trey McBride has the most catches in one season for a tight end, and no one cares because he plays for the Cardinals. He had 129 catches.
Yeah, he broke Zach Ertz's record.
Man, Trey McBride, man. Listen, man, come on over to death row. I mean, Atlanta, man. We'll take care of you. Take care of you over here.
He said death row. Well, and speaking of death row and things of that nature, man, the coaching and GM turnover over the last few days has been absolutely insane. All right, we already knew what was going on with the Giants. Your drafting team, the Titans, let go their boy. Your hometown love fired both the general manager and the coach. Cardinals fired Jonathan Gannon. Browns fired Stefanski. Anyone with two eyes can see that was coming as soon as the season started. The Raiders and the Ravens. Now I want to leave this up here for 1 second, but I want to start with the Raiders for one reason. Do you realize they are paying $50 million to their last 5 head coaches? They are still paying the money. Lane Kiffin is still getting a check from the freaking Raiders.
Is that Lane or Josh McDaniels?
I don't look like Josh McDaniels to me.
That's Josh McDaniels.
Yeah.
All right, so I got that
John
right.
Gruden.
But it's supposed to. But man, if Lane is still getting a check, I was on the team that Lane was coaching. I was on that team.
Hey,
Gruden's still getting paid.
Ben, you said we're in the wrong profession.
I'm just once again, Marvin. We are. It's like they don't let the coaches do post game. You know, when they get fired, they don't let them do no press conference because you got to act like you mad. Yeah, man. When I got the call,
he's next. Eddie.
Sorry, man. I got to go. The plane is gassed up and ready to go. We got to go.
Todd Bowles is next. I don't care what they're saying. They're waiting for the right situation to come upon them. But you're talking about shocking things there, Eddie. My most shocking thing was the fact that Harbaugh was fired at all. I was blown away. Not only that, right? When he was fired, there was only 6 coaching positions available, but he's gotten 7 phone calls. So somebody who has a coach right now, the front office gave his agent a call and seeing what would take to bring him in.
I hope it was the Jets. I hope it was the Jets. For real. I do.
I would have to say out of the list of names that are there, Harbaugh and Stefanski probably should be at the very least the Giants' first 2 options, right?
Oh yeah.
I believe that stuff that we had talked about as soon as they let Dable go, that they are bringing in Antonio Pierce for an interview.
I would love that.
You would think so.
I think that works out with what they're trying to do. You know, you let Kafka continue to be the offensive coordinator. You keep them there, and let Antonio Pierce bring some violence back to a very good, defense they have there in New York. People don't talk about it enough. They have edges. They've got interior defensive linemen. Their whole problem is just their back end right now. So I think Pierce should be so. If I'm someone in that New York front office, that's somebody I would go after because he's probably not going to cost you a crazy amount of money to bring him in. Granted, he's not going to be the sexy pick like a Harbaugh. I just, for whatever reason, I don't think that he's going to get involved with the New York Jets. I think he winds up somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Harbaugh in somewhere like Tennessee.
Yes, I would love that. Don't mess with my. Don't.
Ben's like, don't play in my heartstrings, man.
I know. I'm saying 18 years. I forgot 18 years.
I think Atlanta or Tennessee is where you could see Harbaugh land.
It's going to depend on the quarterback. These head coaches are saying, all right, which quarterback do I want to, attach myself to? Jackson Dart is the most attractive, well, I'm sorry. Lamar Jackson is the most attractive on this list, obviously. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, number one, replacing a Harbaugh, that's a lot of consistency. They got rid of Harbaugh because they're going, dude, 18 years, I believe you've shown us the best you have. And when you got a 2-time MVP, man, we got to win right now while we got him. And it's a respect thing. We're going to go ahead and I think he ends up with the Giants, me personally, because he's in a high profile. He's on a high, you don't go from a high profile team to not high profile. Giants are high profile, right?
Yeah, but your Titans got a new stadium coming, right?
They do got a new stadium.
Exactly. This is you got to usher in a new regime with that.
I'm saying I'm calling it right now. Not the Titans. When Tennessee hosts the Super Bowl, they ain't gonna be there. But when Tennessee hosts, I'm going, man, because as a person that got to grow up as a young grown man in Tennessee to see what that city has become. Because number one, in the National Football League, you got New York, you got LA, you got Chicago. You know what I'm saying? That's high profile, fast paced cities. There's nothing fast paced about Nashville, Tennessee. Nothing outside of Central Time. Ain't nothing fast paced about it. So for them to be I was there in 2019, the Kyler Murray draft, when they hosted the draft, man. And I made the crazy mistake of saying, I was, working in the media and I got to work, the draft or Radio Row. I said, let me just walk through the city. I tried to walk through the crowd to make it a Radio Row. I barely got back out because, they think everybody's a player. Oh, what's up, Ben? Man, I'm signing. Listen, I'm not even signing. I'm just doing this, trying to get out the crowd. It was the best to see that city come as far as it's come. So, yeah, it's going to be intriguing. It's going to be intriguing for 2 or 3 reasons. Well, 4. That conference, Cam Ward, that city, no state tax. Checks a little bigger, Tennessee and Florida. Checks a little. When I went from the Bucks to the Raiders, I said, dude, money was.
I didn't just say
California taxes
out my mouth, man. I think the fact that you have a Cam Ward, the fact that you're going to bring in a new stadium, the fact that you just mentioned it. The tax thing is a big thing, man, because people don't like giving their money to Uncle Sam, man. And if you can keep more of it in your pocket, they're going to do that. So it's one of those things where I think that it makes sense, man. That I think that Harbaugh is not going to have a problem to want to help them with that rebuild. Giants is an easy fix, man. If you really look at it, it's an easy fix.
Easy. I mean,
listen, you got most of the offense lined up. The offense is. You got the core weapons there. You found the quarterback, right? So literally all you have to do is protect him and play defense now.
They ain't going to beat them in the Giants. I mean, they're going to beat y'all consistently.
I mean, it's still the Giants. I don't want to see it happen. I'm an Eagles fan, right? But
I mean, I feel like Marvin.
You're more well put together than the Dallas Cowboys are right now. The Dallas Cowboys still need a whole new defense because they don't know what they're doing.
Steve, let me tell you something, man. When I look at the list you put up there of all these teams who need a head coach,
it hurt your soul, didn't it?
No, well, listen. First of all, Harbaugh, I mean, 18 years. I mean, he's up there with Tomlin. You know what I'm saying? But man, Baltimore spent money. That owner spent some money on dudes. You know what I'm saying? This ain't Cleveland. Oh, this ain't Cincinnati. I mean, this dude out here writing checks. Baltimore was a Super Bowl favorite. By many pundits, many different people. And for your man to miss that field goal, for Luke to miss that field goal, sorry about that. It's just put too much pressure on this dude. And when you paying the money that they paying in Baltimore, this dude got to go. The question is, who does Lamar want to be his coach? That's really the question, because I think that coach, unlike usually when a new coach goes to the team sucks. They've lost 2 or 3 games and nah. You walking into an MVP caliber quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Dude who's done it. Won it a few times already, and a lot of teams coming back. They got to fix that defense. They have players, but I think for that head coach, man, you walking into a great situation. Yes, there's going to be expectations immediately because of the quarterback and because of because of what Harbaugh couldn't do. But listen, that's the story for me, man. Because they're saying, Lamar's going to have a say in this matter. That's interesting. I mean, I get it. You want your star player to feel happy, you feel included, feel relevant. But who does Lamar Jackson want to coach him and lead that shit, man? That's really the question for me. And that's the biggest storyline here. I pray that John Harbaugh goes to my New York Jets and gives us some kind of order and just helps us not look like the clown university, which we look like at times. But yeah, man, who does Lamar want? That's really the question, because this dude, he hears the noise. He knows, Lamar, you need a championship. You need a championship. You know what I'm saying? Don't be one of these quarterbacks that have all the individual this, individual that, and the stats, but you ain't got no championship. So, no, man, he wants somebody in there, man, for sure, that he feels comfortable with. And I'm just curious to see who's that going to be. Who does Lamar Jackson really want as his head coach? That's the question for me.
Man, and thoughts on the Raider situation, paying $50 million.
Listen. This tells you they got it. Well, that ain't nothing. These dudes ain't listen.
I'm just gonna say it like this. Let's be honest. Ain't nobody who's just fired, released, anything is looking to go to Las Vegas for any reason right now. They don't have a quarterback. They have a few guys there. You got a tight end, you got a running back, you got one of the better edge rushers in the NFL, and that's about it.
Fernando Mendoza.
They maybe have three guys.
Fernando.
They had the number one pick, and it's Fernando Mendoza. It got to be. Right?
Them two was going to be looking
I'd
for
find somebody who's crazy with them and make a trade package.
I mean, everybody wants the Raiders. It's rough. Look, the Raiders go back a long time of being really bad.
Drafted quarterback number 1 overall. Does anyone remember what happened?
Well, they drafted who?
Marcus Russell.
Yeah, I was out there with him. I was out there with Jamarcus Russell. I was out there with Darren McFadden.
You couldn't get him right,
huh?
You couldn't get him right.
Here's the thing about the Raiders, right? It could be different now. I don't know what Mark Davis wasn't allowed to show his face when his daddy was alive. When Al was alive, Mark Davis was at his mansion somewhere. He wasn't around the facility. The thing about the Raiders is the Raiders used to be one of the best cultures in football. The silver and black. And now it's just my nephew told me, my nephew was like, and my son, they was like, oh man, I don't even like their color scheme. You don't like silver and black? What? It's just, I don't know what it's gonna take. Like, I don't know what it's gonna take to get the Raiders on track, because the Raiders have always had flashes of talent. They've always had talent, but their front office, man. Like, everybody wants to talk about the front office of the Cleveland Browns or the Cincinnati Bengals. The Raiders ain't far off. That front office is rough. I remember when I was with the Raiders, they used to have fruit for you to eat. They set the fruit out, but it's on the ground, like in like the little brown box they put the fruit in, like you get from like Sam's. The fruit was rotten though. I'm like, hey, bro. I said, why is this rotten fruit on the ground? They was like, no, that's for us to eat. What? I'm serious. I'm like, what? Yeah. I mean, we had D'Angelo Hall at one corner, Nnamdi Asomugha at the other corner. I mean, we had Darren McFadden at running back. We had Javon Walker at receiver. We had Zach Miller at tight end. Jamarcus Russell getting drafted by the Raiders is like getting drafted by the Browns at quarterback. It's not that big of a difference. If Jamarcus Russell gets drafted by another team that could develop him, like Kirk Morrison, who I played with him, I know he got the infamous story of they gave him the CDs and told him to take him home to see the film and wasn't nothing on him. If I'm Kirk, I'm like, bro, don't do that, man, like that. Number one, everybody didn't watch tape. So saying about Jamarcus Russell, a lot of dudes didn't watch tape, but why would you even give him something that ain't got nothing on it? Why would you give me that? That's like a coach giving a player a fake, wristband. Oh, that's right. That happened with Stefanski.
This year.
That's crazy.
It wasn't something that happened 10 years ago. That happened this year.
Marvin, you ain't never heard of that. You wouldn't give a kid a fake wristband and Pop Warner. Yeah. Not alone the NFL. I'm sorry, we gave him the wrong one. Why do you have the wrong wristbands? No. We just gave him the wrong. Why do you? Somebody went, put the plays on there, printed it out. He said it might have fell out. No, wristbands don't fall out. It's on my wrist. Tight. What are you? I'm telling you about the nonsense that went on in Cleveland with Kevin Stefanski. If Kevin Stefanski didn't have, quote, the reputation around the league, he wouldn't get another head coaching job with the way he did with Shador. Shador ran him out of town. They said, all right, you want Stefanski, you want the quarterback? I want the QB. I can find somebody to coach him. So Stefanski going and watch Stefanski end up in Tennessee. He just gonna flip. He gonna say, hey man, I want Cam. I get the number one overall pick since I ain't never seen a coach as Stefanski is the reason why Baker Mayfield got traded. And he the reason why Shador had a fake wristband. Man, stop. That's insubordination. If I've ever, that's negligence. That's conduct detrimental.
That is just stubborn. I want it my way, and I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure it's my way. And that was probably the craziest story that I heard from the season. We heard a lot of crazy nonsense about like Shador in the draft and stuff like that. And we knew that Stefanski didn't want him, and it came from elsewhere. But man, when I heard that he gave Shador a fake wristband,
yeah,
I'm like, listen, that's the beginning of the end right there. That's it. You can't come back from that. And like, listen, it was probably one of the, when we look back at this season, that has to be like the top 3 craziest stories that we heard from stuff that happened, from the draft to the end of the season. So. And you're right, Ben. If Kevin Stefanski didn't earn himself some kind of cachet within and around the NFL, obviously winning Coach of the Year, he probably would not be any name mentioned on the coaching cycle this year. And we were talking about this. I still think the biggest one is Phillip Rivers. Man, we're talking about he's going to get coaching offers despite playing 2-3 games toward the end of the season. That's how much he loves football. He's been in it. He played despite the fact that he was on the Hall of Fame ballot for this year. And everyone made jokes like he's got all these kids and grandkids. He's just trying to reset his benefits package and stuff like that. That had nothing to do with it, man. The dude is just obsessed with football and he wanted to play. But the fact that we're now hearing that he's going to be getting head coaching offers, that's just about as crazy as the Stefanski story, because how do you play one season and then you're going to get a head coaching offer in the offseason? That's crazy.
Can't do any words with some of these current coaches you got. That's how bad some of these current coaches are. And let me say this about Phillip Rivers. He's jumping the line now. Like they're a coach.
Jumping the line. Jumping the line. He got slingshot over. I mean,
I'm saying he is getting the same treatment as John Lynch. John Lynch never coached. He went straight to a GM. Mm-hmm. He never coached, consulted, none of that. He went straight from whatever he was doing to the GM of San Francisco. I'm gonna keep saying this until the Michael Jordans of the world want to be owners in the NFL to be able to get whatever you want and how you want. This cycle of coaching is going to continue the way it continues. And can Phillip Rivers coach? Probably not. Probably not in the NFL. I can coach my son. I can coach my son right now, yeah. But coaching my son at a high school is not coaching the best players in the world. That is not. Grown men demand respect. I didn't say they give it now, but they demand it. You're going to respect them, or they'll never respect you. If you don't believe me, one coach that survived, which I'm going to see, is Mike McDaniels. The team started losing because they lost respect for him. And if Phillip Rivers does become a head coach, it's going to be somewhere like the Raiders, like the Cardinals, like teams that don't nobody – I mean, people care about the Raiders. Don't nobody care about the Cardinals like that. How many coaches have Kyler Murray got fired since he's been head coach? Is this what, coach number 4? He's had like 3 or 4 coaches, right? So if Phillip Rivers get to jump in front of the line, I don't want to hear about Eric Bieniemy no more. I don't want to hear about Mike Flores. No, I don't want to hear it no more. Because these guys actually had to coach. And I get it. Mike Flores said some stuff about Tua that he regrets. Coaches say things all the time. But
I think you just
if Phillip Rivers walk out of wherever he was living to Indy to head coach, man, I don't want to hear anything about. I don't know if this coach ready anymore.
I think if Phillip Rivers is a head coach anywhere, it's gonna be the Arizona Cardinals.
It better not be the Titans. It better not be the Titans, and it better not be the Falcons. Or I'm going up the flowery branch, and I'm gonna knock on Arthur Blank door, and I'm gonna say, he's gonna say, "What you doing with that baby powder in your hand?" Smacking him. I'm just, come on, bro. We got to do better than this, man. I mean, act like you care about football in Atlanta, man. What do we? Come on.
It's tough, man. I mean, listen, for me, there are two thoughts here. First, it definitely is a slap in the face to all the other coaches who have been told that there's a process, who've had to go through the process, who've had to commit to the process. You know what I'm saying? Put these years in as an intern, you know, as a GA intern, and go up that pipeline. You know what I mean? But in the event that this is real, and you go from veteran player to now we sitting you down for formal interviews to be a head coach, then you set precedent, you know, and now you create an additional, an alternative path for former players. You know what I'm saying? Because you got a lot of players in the league. I mean, not a lot, but you have enough that are playing, you know, 13, 14, 15, 16 years plus in this league, have tremendous perspective, have tremendous understanding of the game, have been to multiple organizations, have a good idea as to how organization macro at least should be running. You know what I'm saying? So it should be ran. So yeah, you create a precedent, you create opportunities. You know, I think that leadership comes in different forms. I think people can have different type of experiences and be effective leaders in the end. I think that there's a tremendous difference between being a leader from a player perspective and being a leader from a coaching perspective. I think those are two different things. It's not the same. If there were anything close to all these former players in all the sports, football, basketball, baseball, they'd be amazing coaches like they were players. And that's not typically the case. You know what I'm saying? At least not at the head position. We've seen that across sports. So if I'm any team, I'm cautious just because this guy doesn't have, he didn't come up a coaching tree per se, even though he has a different perspective. If I'm a former player who's looking to be a coach, then I'm looking at this and saying to myself, I hope it goes down because because I think that, I could do a hell of a job as a head coach too, even without ever being a coordinator or an assistant. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. You know what I mean? Especially, you couple that with the idea that, there's been issue with the amount of African-American coaches that are in the league now. This doesn't help that case if it goes down. But again, I think it creates a path for players as a whole. So I'm gonna wait and see kind of guy right now.
I'm glad you mentioned the African-American coaches, because at this point in time, I'm going to say that the thing that no one's going to say. I think the Rooney Rule is an absolute farce at this point in time. There's no rhyme or reason to it. 9 times out of 10, organizations bring in an African American candidate as their first candidate to just get it done and get it out the way and bring in whoever they want to bring in. I think it's an absolute joke anymore, and more people need to stand up and freaking say it because it's ridiculous. And I think we do have a lot of good young African American leaders of men that are coaches in this league, and they just don't get a fair share at it. They don't. The kind of stuff we see Dion go through. You know what I mean? Like the criticism that he gets and stuff like that, and you go look at the intangible things that he's done over there in Colorado. They have the highest GPA of any student athletes across college. His first thing is your grades, and he holds his players to a higher standard than what the NCAA does. So it's one of these things, man. Like just because this guy comes from this coaching tree or whatever doesn't mean that there isn't a better candidate out there. And I think at this point in time, it's been more than proven that the Rooney Rule is an absolute farce. It's a joke, and they need to revisit how it's going about, how it goes down, because I'm not seeing it. Like, Brian Flores probably should be the biggest name that we hear on this coaching cycle, and we just gone through it. We didn't mention them, did we?
Right.
And that's because that we're talking about the names that are being pushed right now. I think Brian Flores should be at the top of everyone's list right now.
Yeah, but Steve, with him, you probably got some real collusion. He's suing the NFL. Them dudes is a brotherhood. They're their own fraternity. I don't know that any of these coaches are going to really step out and offer him a job until that whole situation is settled, done, or thrown out.
Now, Eddie, yeah, his record isn't good, but how good is your record going to be when I think they had over 10 guys drafted in the first 3 rounds? Like that, he lost 3/4 of his team last season. So and yeah, like he doesn't have he doesn't have his two-way guy that was playing wide receiver and cornerback. He doesn't have his son playing there. The whole wide receiver core is gone. So he has a turnover, and now he just lost Marshall Faulk on top of it. He's coaching his own. He's going to lose Warren Sapp, I probably within this next year too. So his whole coaching staff is also going to be ripped out from underneath him. It's always not about the wins and losses, especially in college football. If you can develop the players and they become good professionals, you're a winning coach, in my opinion. Regardless. Go ahead, brother.
No, I'm saying in Deion's, he's brought in so much money to that university. You know what I'm saying? Like he's, when you think about it, the enrollment's gone up. I mean, like 3 times the amount. The donors have kicked up money like they've never seen. The attendance at the games, they selling out. In regards to Eddie and being on Deion, I mean, listen, there are many metrics where they're winning. They're still winning. You know what I mean? So don't jump on Deion if you don't know all the numbers.
Deion, I mean, they love a Deion up there in Colorado. They understand that Colorado is the name of the business. That's their college football business right there. It's called the Colorado Buffs. And the thing about Deion is this: Deion is saying, okay, what were they doing before I got here? Forget the winning and the losing. What the Heisman's at? Oh, I already gave my Heisman. My business is booming. I'm talking about from the fans.
Last time they had a big player in Colorado, what was it? Who was it?
Rashawn Salam.
Yeah, Cordell Stewart, something like that.
Eric Bieniemy. What's his name? / Cordell Stewart.
Yeah, so we just said Cordell Stewart. Yeah.
I'm saying it's the thing about this stuff that's crazy is, right? This stuff is happening in real time, right? Like Marvin mentioned the process, right? So you telling me, okay, the process is you graduate from college. You usually start in college, unless you were a really, really good player in the NFL, and that coach will bring you on his staff, like Navarro Bowman. He's a linebackers coach for the Chargers. Obviously, he was under Harbaugh as a player when he was with the 49ers. So that can't happen.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that Phillip Rivers is even getting consideration, it's like based off of, like, what is this based off of?
Because he was coaching his kid's football team.
When he was Greg Olsen. Let me check this out. This is a high school this is a middle school football team. The head coach is Greg Olsen. The defensive coordinator is Luke Kuechly. That is their defensive coordinator. Their running backs coach is Jonathan Stewart. This is a middle school team, right? This is wait, what?
Yeah, middle school teams, they get invaluable information.
But check this out. A dude named Captain Munderland that played a slot corner for the Panthers. He coaches high school football. And he said he asked Greg Olsen, why will he come to the high school as a head coach? He said, I don't know if I'm ready yet. That's a level of humility, one, that you don't see a lot. But number two, that's if somebody asked Phillip Rivers to be the head coach, these players gonna be like, what?
Exactly.
Like, I would do head coach.
Now,
the
we're
guy we
talking
just
about
saw.
crazy hirings, right? We're talking about crazy hirings.
Man.
I came across this one just because it's a relative Philadelphia name. I gotta mention it. Right? So we've had crazy quarterbacks in this city, right? Well, Coy Detmer was one of those quarterbacks that was during that wonky, early Andy Reid era, right? And his son, Coy Detmer Jr., has now been hired as the quarterback coach for the University of Michigan. And man, does he got the old school handlebar mustache going for him right now? Coy Detmer Jr. is the quarterback coach for the Michigan Wolverines.
Hey, big football family. Big football family.
Yeah, man.
Football legacy.
Ty Detmer, Coy Detmer. So now Coy's Coy's son Jr. is going to be the quarterbacks coach down there in Ann Arbor. So I got to tip my cap to him for that one. But this is what we're talking about. There's a path, right? There's a certain way you go about things. And somehow, I don't know if it's just media pumping this out or is it a legitimate thing, but somehow we're getting Philip Rivers mentioned in head coaching job situations is beyond me. Beyond me.
I mean,
I bet
at this point, this is what it's going to take. It's going to take a former player that has a lot of capital, a lot of cachet, a lot of influence to be able to get, some money to be able to purchase a team. He's the majority owner. He makes decisions. And let him start doing stuff like this. Because people are going to be like, what? Because it's only, look, I mean, what? What's the song? It's a problem with you. What? And it's a problem when you do it, right? Because once again, let me say this. Me and Philip Rivers part of the same draft class. I ain't mad at Philip. This ain't got nothing to do with Philip's name coming up. It has everything to do with the fact that when did we start associating good football play to good coaching? Man, what's that quote? What's that?
I get that.
Mike Singletary is arguably not the greatest. He's one of the greatest middle linebackers ever played. What happened when he was in San Francisco? It don't just happen that way. But let me tell you what I don't like about a Singletary. Garrett, what is it? Sean Garrett, former quarterback and a long-time Dallas Cowboy coach. Why is his name coming up again?
I know. I heard Jason Garrett's get
Jason Garrett. Yeah, Jason Garrett.
Why is Jason Garrett's name being mentioned in anything? Stay in the booth, man.
No, because this was not being said. Look, white guys being head coaches and mediocre, no one even cares. They get to keep going and going and going and coaching and coaching. Black guy gets 1 year, gone. He ain't ready. What you mean? And look, I'm not even making this a black and white thing. It's just the fact that when the black guys get the head coaching jobs, DeMeco Ryans, he done won the division 2 years, and then thank God when he didn't have a good year, they were talking about he might have to go. After one seat, they made the playoffs again. It's like Mike Tomlin ain't never had a losing season, and every year they talking about getting rid of him. I'm just saying, it's as simple as this. When I was on the radio, I got asked, Ben, you telling me that black guys get an unfair shake? No, I'm saying don't hire me because I'm a black dude, but don't not hire me. That's all I'm saying. You don't hire me because I'm a black guy. No, that's crazy. But don't not hire me. It's like, you don't think I know how to coach football? Deion Sanders is the reason why we watch Jackson State. When's the last time you watched a Jackson State game, Steve? We don't. We only watch in Colorado because of who coaching there, and we know his influence. I'm just saying, give all the guys a fair shake.
We don't have to have these conversations.
And see what happens, because if Philip Rivers is a head coach, I'm going to just say this again. He better not be the head coach of the Falcons. He better not be the head coach of the Titans, because do you realize that Red Carthon was the first black GM in Titans history? They got rid of him after 2 years. He started out, Red Carthon started out as a scout. Then he became the lead scout. Then he became over personnel. He went through the process. They got rid of him for the same guy. They said the guy that came in said, "Yeah, we want to draft, we want to develop, we want to retain." That's every strategy. That's everybody's strategy at every freaking organization. Well, here's the thing that no one told you about Rand Carthon. Rand Carthon's father, when we got drafted in 2004, and Rand Carthon went undrafted, his father was the offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. His daddy, and still didn't get drafted. My daddy is the offensive coordinator for the Cowboys. I'm just saying the man had a lot of experience, and you got rid of him for a guy that just looks different than him. They ain't doing nothing different. So I hope Rand Carthon becomes the new general manager of the Atlanta Falcons, not because he's a black guy, but because he knows what he's doing. Terry Fontenot, once again, Terry Fontenot, I just came from the store. I got two things of baby powder. It's up to you if I use it on you. It is up to you. Where you go, not Terry, so it don't matter. But I just hope that we get past how a guy looks. Everybody says, I want to hire people I'm comfortable with. What the hell you think he's going to do to you? What, tie you up and take you home and give you some food with seasoning in it? What is he going to do? Nothing. He's going to coach the team. And Mike Tomlin has been as consistent of a coach that you're ever going to see in football. People say he only won one Super Bowl. Most coaches ain't going to win nothing in football. They ain't going to win anything. So I don't get this uncomfortability when you around black guys your whole career. I'm just saying, like, I don't get they could run, they could be players. I'm scared for them to be the head coach. Why? Because I don't know what they're gonna do. They're gonna make us listen to, Lil Baby. They're gonna be out there listening to Who's Meek Mill. Ask your grandson. That's what we listening to. Mike Flores, I hope he get another opportunity. This man, mother and father is immigrants. You talking about the American dream for real? This man parents is immigrants, and now he's the head coach. I don't know. Like I said, this is why I'm a content creator. I'm just passionate. I'm not mad. It's just when do we get past melanin, man? Come on, bro. We still doing that in 2026? That's still a thing. Got to do better. Got to do better than that. And Jerry Jones, until you get a black head coach, Jerry. Oh, he can't do that. Yeah, got that. But you put salt on a sausage biscuit. Get out of here.
And we're talking about Dallas. Did you see that the Miami Dolphins have brought in Troy Aikman as a consultant to help them fill the general manager's position? What? Yeah. All right, wait, stop. Let's pull the e-brake real fast. What has Troy Aikman done in the front office sense of things that has made the Miami Dolphins bring him in as a consultant to hire a general manager? He's never been a coach. He went right from the field right to the box, right? He's been a Fox analyst since the day he took the pads off. So what qualifications does he have to help the Miami Dolphins hire the next general manager? Or did I miss something? If I'm wrong, someone tell me. Someone stand up and tell me.
Is he real close friends with Dan Marino? And Dan Marino mentioned his name. You know who we should get to help us? Who? I'm real close friends with Troy Aikman, man. Maybe he'll come help us. You think he'll do it? Yeah. I mean, once again, we can hear these things in real time. Are we, Marvin, Steve, are we tripping like Troy Aikman? You talking about the former Dallas? Yeah. He's a consultant now? Yeah, man, he got a consulting firm. Stephen Ross, the owner of a lot of these guys got their money in real estate. They real good at making houses and building buildings. They ain't good at running teams. They're not. But who can stop them? Who can stop? So Troy Aikman is gonna no. That's not how it happened. Got it. Stephen Ross called Jerry Jones. Jerry said, "Man, get Troy Aikman to help you." For real, Jerry? Yeah, he can help you find him. Why you think Troy Aikman can? Because you can't find him. You can't do it. So, matter of fact, call us over here in the Fan In. I can help you find somebody. Yeah, I can help you find a coach. It's not gonna matter, or a GM. Man, Troy. Now we got that. Now people finna start acting like here come these announcers. Yeah, man, Troy Aikman, man, he's always been a guy that can really recognize talent. No, he can't. How? He ain't never been a GM. That boy ain't never been the president of the freaking
Marvin.
Never been the president of the freaking
brother. Man, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, so it's always obvious to me when you have an owner, and this is all to Ben's point, when you have an owner who's built a fortune in business, but not in the football business, right?
Nope.
So they see a football team as a commodity, they see it as a great investment, but they don't really understand football. I'm convinced of that. You know what I'm saying? Some of these dudes. And they don't even know, what to look for when trying to hire somebody who should, understand football culture, NFL culture. You know what I mean? And it's just I see this horrific decisions by ownership really leading the way. You know what I mean? And this kind of goes back to me always saying how, like, I don't think these young quarterbacks fail as much as I think these ownership, these teams, and these teams, fail a player just to not having a plan and not really understand what it takes to help a young kid evolve. But to bring in Troy Aikman, I mean, this is a guy who he had one GM, I guess, his whole career in Dallas, and that went between Jimmy and Jerry. He was part of a team in the 90s that won 3 Super Bowls. But like you guys said, he has no front office experience. There's a difference when you're the guy driving the car and when you're the guy riding shotgun. There's a tremendous difference in that experience. You know what I'm saying? From that perspective, it's really different. I don't know, outside of just being an NFL quarterback, former NFL player, and now he's, he has Sunday night or Monday Night Football. I don't know what benefit he has and why you would bring in him versus someone who has executive experience. You know what I'm saying? Troy Aikman's I hate to say this because he's a Hall of Famer who I have tremendous respect for, but he's a nobody when you look at, why would you listen to this guy versus, a guy like Mike Lombardi, you know what I mean, who's been doing this forever. I'd go to Chapel Hill, talk to Mike Lombardi. The guy was a GM for 20 years. Seriously. So this is, again, another example of owners just really being clueless about football culture and protocol.
Well, I mean, the whole team is a complete dumpster fire right now. I mean, when Ian Rappaport basically just made this thing that, that Tua and McDaniels are having this conversation, and there's a real possibility that the team that contacted Harbaugh was the Miami Dolphins to potentially bring in a thing like somebody like a Harbaugh down there to Miami and get McDaniels out of there, because the what we've seen is going on with Tua apparently has been personal, not a business decision, and that's coming from Ian Rappaport. So whatever is gonna happen this offseason down in Miami, there's gonna be a lot of changing. And I don't know if Troy Aikman's gonna do anything about the coaching situation outside of just helping them with the GM. But I think we can all sit there and say that the Mike McDaniel project down there in Miami also needs to go if they're also putting a new general manager in there, because he's not getting them guys wanting to play. They ran Vic Fangio out of there because he was coaching them too hard. And you've seen what he's done here in Philadelphia the last 2 years. So Miami's got a real problem on their hands, both in front office, on the sidelines, and on the field. They are failing in all 3 aspects as a professional franchise, and they need to figure it out quick, because they're another one of these teams that haven't done anything since the 70s. So I mean, they wasted away Dan Marino's career. So we're gonna have to see what happens down there. He may not well wind up down there in Miami, Eddie, but it is a mess down there. They need to figure it out. I don't know if one off season's gonna fix it.
No,
they gotta from the owner, no general manager. You got a head coach that still thinks that he knows what he's doing when it's clear that he doesn't. He's mismanaging the players, holding personal vendettas, running the defensive coordinator. I think the real reason Vic was ran out of there is because he's scared he was going to take his job. So let's be honest with that. And then Vic was just probably had enough of it. He's like, I'm going to my hometown. I'll be the defensive coordinator here. We'll win a Super Bowl or 2 and see how I feel then. But
and Steve, when you say fix it, what does that really mean? Like, get to the
They need
level.
to fix the culture there first before just plugging somebody in there. Me and Ben talk about this all the time. Like, you look at what's happened in Philadelphia over the last 30 years since we talked about it last night, since Jeffrey Lurie came in, right? It starts from up top. It starts from your owner. And when your owner isn't meddling in every little thing you do, but holding you to a certain standard, those tend to be the most successful organizations. This guy just, he just thinks he's going to put these guys in place and they're just going to run it everything. You need to hop in every once in a while and be like, listen, I don't think this is the best move possible. Or I expect this from you. If this isn't what's going to happen on the field, this is going to be the consequences of this thing. And I absolutely believe Jalen Phillips he was throwing a party when they were telling him he was going to Philadelphia. Because you want to know something? Since he's been traded here to Philadelphia, they have the best run defense per average since he's came to Philadelphia. So I do think Phillips is celebrating. He got himself one of those divisional championship shirts and hats, and he was loving it. He was at the Sixers game when I went the other day, ringing the bell. He loves it here in Philadelphia. I'll tell you that much right now. And being what we're seeing, I guarantee, we talked about this last night. I guarantee you that Tyreek Hill is going to be on his way out. I guarantee you that Jalen Waddle is going to be already on his way out. They really aren't going to have any big name stars to attach to it. They're going to have to do a 3 to 4 year rebuild before you see them make those differences, and it starts from up top. The owner has to do things in a different manner. If I'm being honest, if I'm in Troy Aikman's head, I say right, like, it starts with you. It starts with you, Mr. Ross. You need to do this. You can't just sit there and think this is going to self-manage each other. You've had one of the better rosters in the NFL for over the last handful. Y'all put 70 points up on a team within the last 5 years. What happened? Like, I feel bad for Tua at this point in time. They never protected him. Nope. They never protected him. Tell me the last time they drafted an offensive lineman within the first 2 rounds.
What was it, Jake Long? I can't remember. Was it Jake Long?
You just said it, Jake Long. That's before Tua even got there. That's within the last 10 years. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like
with listen, that said, though, Tua's damaged goods, man.
He might be. Sometimes you get him in the right, you put him in the right situation, he could flourish. He very well could be.
He reminds me.
Go ahead.
He reminds me of Troy Aikman toward the end of Troy's career, where if you just blow on Troy, he got concussed. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously. No, I hate to say that. It's a real thing, but I mean that. You know what I mean? So
he had to deal with that defense, man.
Tua had injuries coming out of college. You know what I'm saying? And he got to the injury, and he had some of the worst hits. I mean, some of those images of Tua on the ground, after some of these hits were bad.
His concussion. I mean, if he gets another one, but if he gets another one, they're gonna have to find a way to just. I think his 2026 contract. I mean, his 2026 money is already guaranteed. But the Miami Dolphins to me are real similar to like the Oklahoma Sooners, right? People say Oklahoma won the national championship in 2000. It's been that long. But the thing about the Dolphins, they'll say we the only undefeated team. Yes, y'all went undefeated in 72. No one can take that away. Nobody, right? But they have a perception problem down in Miami. Hey, when they was on Hard Knocks, you walk in, they showed them Lombardi trophies. Hey, dude, y'all have to spray them things off to make sure they can be shot. Some things got plenty of dust on them. It's been a while. You asked Tua to do something that Dan Marino couldn't do. You want me to do what? I want you to get us back to glory days. With Mike Shula, dude. That's gonna be a little rough because when you think about it, Mike McDaniels was a guy that was a great play caller, but you had to have guys to run it. Like when people say, man, why was the West Coast offense so dynamic? Because of who ran it. I mean, you had Jerry Rice. You talking about Joe Montana. You talking about Roger Craig. Look at who's running it. But they ran it to perfection with Walsh. Now you say, hey, man, let's run it. Well, who do we got? Well, we got Tyreek Hill, and we got Jalen Waddle, and we got A-Chain, right? And we got Tua. All right, what about when guys start getting hurt? It's going to look real different if you add somebody else to it. And that's the thing when it comes to Miami. Stephen Ross, when it comes to real estate, when it comes to business, when it comes to innovation in business, or that's him. I don't know what Stephen Ross do with that team. I really don't. He lucked into that stadium that they got or whatever because he did not want to do it. But they're like, dude, you're going to have to do something, man. This stadium is looking crazy. And now you talk about a team that outside of a couple of highlights here and highlights there, it's bad. I mean, when Tyreek Hill got hurt, he was on the freaking, they was taking him off. He's saying, yes, thank you. Who does that when you get hurt? I'm sick of this place, dude. And let's face it, Mike McDaniel is he's weird. He's a weird kind of guy, but he's only likable if he's winning. Some of these press conferences, I don't know whose press conference the worst out of him and Tua's. Like, what are y'all talking about? Tua was throwing the teammates under the bus saying we call the team meetings and ain't nobody coming. Yeah, because you were running the meeting. I'm not coming to that. What you gonna say, Tua? We can see you. Mike McDaniels, he couldn't really control Tyreek Hill. Jalen Phillips is gone. You talk about Jonathan Smith. He set franchise records. He's gone. Jalen Ramsey, he's gone. Right? You got Chubb down there.
He's right now, right? That's all they got.
It does start at the top, but here's the thing. Stephen Ross ain't in a position to listen to nobody because he's always the most wealthy person in the room. Not the smartest, he's the wealthiest. And wealthy people think, well, man, I got a bunch of money. Yeah, but dude, we talking about winning football. Oh, we talking about that? Yeah. Like, don't you want to win? Yeah, I want to win, but I want to do it my way. All right, Stephen Jones. Ross, you want to do it your way? It's going to keep on being this. And that's the thing about football is the smartest minds don't got as much money as the ones who name on the other side of the check. Just because you're the owner don't mean you're the smartest. You bought the team. That's not running the team. I mean, if I go buy a company, I don't run it. I just bought it. I'm gonna let my managers and general managers run it. And that's the part about Mr. Lurie. He hired Howie Roseman to run this thing. It's like if I'm the pastor of the church, don't be, hey, pastor, I heard y'all got this thing next month. Hey, I'll preach on Sunday, bro. I don't know what you talk about. That's that department over there. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I'll preach on Sunday. Me and my wife get in the car, go home, get something to eat. See y'all next Sunday. It's like, can't be everything to everybody. So the Miami Dolphins ain't going nowhere fast. And I don't think Stephen Ross cared one bit. I don't think when they told him that Troy Aikman gonna help him, like Troy Aikman, the quarterback, oh, that's dope. What are he gonna do? Well, he gonna try to help you. Well, I'm gonna make the final decision. Well, what? If you gonna make the final decision, Troy gonna be like, I'm finna go back over here and call some games with Joe Buck. I'm gonna be over here calling. Well, half of my games gonna be the Cowboys, though. I would wonder how many Cowboys games Troy Aikman get the call. But yeah, I don't understand. So Phillip Rivers is getting head coaching opportunities. Troy Aikman is a consultant. Kevin Stefanski gave Shedeur the wrong wristband. DK Metcalf put his hands on the oh my God, this boy right here. Put his hands on the fan, and then when asked about it, I can't talk about it. What you think we was going to ask you when you came back to the team, DK? How are you? Are you okay? I can't talk about it, but you can grab somebody. NFL is nuts.
Let's talk some wild card weekend, right? Now, the playoff tree is situated, right? Green Bay's going to Chicago. San Francisco's coming to Philadelphia. Rams are going to Carolina. The Texans are going to Pittsburgh. Buffalo is going to Jacksonville. And you have the Chargers going to New England, right? I'm going to start this one off first, and this was the topic for the day, right? Will Josh Allen take the Buffalo Bills to their first road playoff win since 1992. They haven't won on the road since 1992 when Jim Kelly in the run and shoot offense was running around there in Buffalo. So I'm gonna pull this one back up. How do you see this the playoff weekend playing out? you're talking to me. I think the Bears are going to beat Green Bay. Green Bay is too banged up. I think it's tough to beat a team 3 times in one season, but it's not impossible. I think the Bears do it, especially after embarrassing themselves with the Lions last week. I do think San Francisco comes in, plays a tough game. Philadelphia wins it. And I'm actually going to show you a reason why I think Philadelphia wins it here in a second, because one of the referees are coming in, Alan Eck. When refereeing the Eagles game, they're 8-1, including the NFC Championship game from 2023 when the Eagles played the Niners. So I think that is something you can't overlook. I do believe the Rams take care of the Panthers, despite the fact of losing to them within the last month. I do think it's going to be a tough game, but the Patriots are going to beat the Chargers. I do think the Jacksonville Jaguars will upset the Buffalo Bills. I like their defense, and I also like the Texans beating those Pittsburgh Steelers. I know your cousin going to be a little upset about that. He's been showing us his Pittsburgh love last night. But Marvin, what are your thoughts? What do you look at when you see this playoff tree? Who do you like wild card weekend, brother? What are your picks?
Yeah, like I said, I think Drake May's playing at an all-time high level right now. He looks so good. That team is so dependent on him, and he really responds. I got the Patriots beating the Chargers without question. Buffalo Bills, Jaguars. Jaguars are real. That defense is real. They have their quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, playing at a high level. They have a trio of receivers. They have a running back. I think that Jacksonville is a team that people really aren't talking about enough. And I don't think Buffalo has enough between Cook and the quarterback. Texans, Pittsburgh. DK Metcalf's coming back, but the Texans are bringing that defense. Defense travels. That defense is real. I'm believing that Pittsburgh at home with DK back, considering how they won last week, what they had to do. I like the Steelers. I do. I like Caleb Williams and the Bears at home. I do. I like Brock Purdy's playing at a level right now. I like him very much. And then the last game there.
It's up here.
Rams all day.
Yeah,
Rams. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm going to double up on you with the Pats thing, because Mr. Hollywood out there, Justin Herbert, has been absolutely horrendous in his 2 playoff games, and I do not think that changed. Yeah, they did beat my Eagles, but he was being beaten up, thrown around. They have a beat up offensive line. He cannot do it alone. And I think that the Patriots will be too much for him. Ben, what are your thoughts on Wild Card Weekend? Who do you like? Who do you not like? What are your thoughts on this weekend's matchups?
I do think the New England Patriots are going to beat the Chargers, but I don't think it's going to be a runaway. I think the Chargers defense is built to beat up on a guy like Drake May, and I think they're going to force him. They're going to force him to beat the Drake May we saw the first time against the Bills, not the second time. But the second time he played the Bills, he didn't look like himself at all. And if Henderson don't have them he had 2 50-yard runs for touchdowns. And Drake May was able to scramble. He didn't. They can find a way to make him one-dimensional and make him have to beat them with the ground game, because they'll take the running game away. But I do think New England gets the win. I think the Chargers make it a game. I think Green Bay do beat the Bears. And here's why. I think the thing about the Bears is this, right? The Bears had a really, really good season, and the Bears are showing under Ben Johnson they can play some really, really good football. They are coming in banged up, no Michael Parsons. But Green Bay is looking at the Bears going, I don't know if y'all are really that, though. See, it's one thing to play a team that don't know you. You don't want to play a team that knows you. They're like, bro, you ain't got no new tricks. We know what you're going to do. I think Green Bay upsets the Bears just to keep that thing. I think Jordan Love has a really, really good game, and I think that Rashad Gary and company, they're going to have to bring that pass rush without Michael Parsons. But I do like their chances. And they just got Diggs over there. He can help. He can help that secondary. I don't know how much he's going to help, but I definitely think he can help. I do think the Bills beat the Jags. Here's why. The thing about the Jags are nice, man. They are. Trevor Lawrence has been playing out of his mind. Travis Etienne he's due for a contract extension. You got Josh Hines, Allen, going to be chasing Josh Allen. I just think that Josh Allen is at his best when the cards are stacked against him. I think he's the guy that's going to go out there and will his team to a win. They defense with Greg Rousseau and Bosa and company is good enough to force Trevor Lawrence into some mistakes, because the regular season is different than the postseason. Now, postseason, you ain't going for it on 4th-1. Now, you putting that thing. You gonna play straight up. You ain't doing no tricks. Everything gonna have to be straight up, but I think the Bills, will out a win against them Jacksonville. I think it's good. I think your Eagles beat the 49ers, and that's gonna be the game of the week. It's gonna come down to all 4 quarters now. It ain't gonna be no easy one. You're gonna be counting 2 things. You'll be counting the points on the scoreboard and healthy bodies. And then this game, this gonna be a slugfest, because I think both teams are built the exact same. You say y'all are not gonna have Dallas Goedert for the game?
No. Dallas Goedert is going to be playing. Grant Calcaterra got a hip drop tackle, and his knee's a little banged up. So, and fortunately, Brent Toth went down instead of Landon Dickerson. So that's why I'm glad they did rest him, because you'd be down at least 3 starters if they did. The Commanders were playing with a chip on the shoulder because they were salty. They got beaten. They own stadium. So, as much as we're against that, I think we'll be all right there. But like I just said, the referee, when reffing Eagles games 8-1, and one of those wins was that aforementioned 2022 NFC Championship game where Brock Purdy got knocked out and they were down to basically a running back taking snaps at quarterback.
Okay, the Rams versus the Panthers. This game is going to be better than people give it credit for, because the Panthers already beat the Rams during the regular season. It's hard to beat a team twice, but I just think that Coach Canales, the head coach and also play caller of the Panthers, he's gonna be aggressive. Because why not? Why would you not be aggressive, right? You ain't got nothing to lose. You don't want to come in the game. We held some plays back. We were trying to be conservative. Shut up. Throw the football. You got two-headed monster at running back with Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdell, and then you talk about Ted McMillan. Can you get that passing game going? But I still got the Rams. I just think they're a better team. But my last game, I got the Texans beat the Steelers for 3 reasons. Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson Jr., and Derek Steele. Derek Steele is gonna shut DK Metcalf down. DK Metcalf gonna come out there looking like an action figure. He gonna say, "This dude," and Derek Steele gonna say, "Yeah, me. I'm a first-team All-Pro cornerback, youngin. Yeah, I know you got all the money, but you ain't never watched me play. We're standing in front of me right now. I just think this Texans team, who everybody left for dead during the season when CJ Stroud got hurt, not only did they make the playoffs, DeMeco Ryans has been the head coach for 3 years, made the playoffs 3 years, won the division 2 of those 3 years. Ain't nobody talking about him enough. See that? He all right. Is he? No, he knows what he has to do to keep his job, because during the season they thought, hey, man, he might be on the hot seat. After 1 season? But I got the Texans, I got New England, I got the Bills, I got Green Bay, I got your Eagles, and I got the Rams. I think these games, I think the Chargers are going to be a better game than people give it credit for, as well as the Rams and the Panthers. But I think the game of the week is going to be 49ers Eagles. That's going to be the game to watch, because Christian McCaffrey he nasty good. If the real Saquon Barkley show up, that could be the X factor. Now, if he shows up and he's running the way he's going to get,
but also what I want to see is give Tank Bigsby needs more than 5 carries Sunday afternoon. Tank Bigsby has not been getting the love. He hasn't been getting the carry, and obviously being behind Saquon Barkley. But every time he's been on the field, he's getting those gas plays. You know, those splash plays that you weren't getting from Saquon, he's getting them. So I'd like to see him have more than 5 carries. If Tank Bigsby has more than 5 carries, it's not going to be a close game. It's not. They gonna hit them home runs on the running game. One more thing I want to bring up as we get to close this out, and it is arguably one of the funniest things I've come across this early in the year. The Las Vegas Athletics went to go and hit the copyright for it, and the trademark denied them the trademark for Las Vegas Athletics or Vegas Athletics. Is beyond me. How does a professional team not able to get the copyright for their team? Ben, what's going on?
Here's the thing. Okay, when the Raiders first went to Vegas, everybody thought, okay, at least they're gonna keep the A's. No, which means we talking about being proactive. Look, we got to snatch that trademark, even if we stay in Oakland. You can't wait. Because this is what really happened, probably. Somebody else already got it. You waited. They're not going to give it to you because you're the Vegas Athletics. Man, we waited. We can't get trademark. No, you waited. No, they should have respected that. No. Come on, man. We got to be better than this. Like, this ain't like a book that you can call it anything you want. Oh, I want to make it so that I have a podcast called 84 Reasons. It's a song called 84 Reasons. It's a nonprofit called 84 Reasons. The reason why I never got a cease and desist, because I've been wearing them 84 since 2000 in the 90s. So they was like, well, you can't really send it to him because we have evidence. But here's the thing, though. If I want 84 Reasons to be an entity that nobody can use, I would have to go through the paperwork. But I'm not a professional baseball French. What do we do? Oh, my God. This kind of stuff is embarrassing because it shows, once again, there are a lot of Stephen Rosses out there. These owners think they're smarter than everybody, and they not. How would you wait?
I'm going to answer your question. The reasoning that the USPTO didn't give them the trademark because it's too generic. Geographic description that the word athletics is too broad for a sports specific, which is insanity because they've been a franchise since they were here in Philadelphia.
You know what's crazy about that though?
Yeah.
You think? Do you really think they're the first team that heard that before? And the other teams got around it.
Yeah, they'll get it done.
And the thing is, once again, Marvin, God gonna bless us to be able to come into some serious cheese. I don't know when. I'm just putting it out there. And we gonna become minority owners of a franchise. You can pick the one. It don't matter. Just so we can be in the room to say, what y'all just say? Who are y'all? Oh, we minority owners, which means we got a key. We got the little thing. Some of y'all, some teams are good. Listen, good teams are good teams because they make good decisions. The bad teams are bad teams because they make bad. That is why. And the worst teams make dumb decisions, just dumb, just don't make no sense. If you are the Vegas Athletics, let me tell you something else money can do. It keeps stories from coming out. And don't print that. What? Don't print that. But and that still happens to this day. That still happens to this day. Because here's the thing, right? I was at, not to give my free pub, I was at Dick's Sporting Goods, early this week or whatever. I said, dang, man, y'all shoe game now got nice. You know what he said? Because we bought Foot Locker. See, people that make moves, they just do it in silence. And next thing you know, stuff goes like this. And the Oakland A's, you couldn't even stay in freaking Oakland. Oh my God, man, don't get me started about the Oakland because I was out there. It is a travesty that they lost that team. Football is different. You lost the A's, man. That's the only thing Oakland had. They done lost Golden State. They in San Francisco now. You done lost the freaking Raiders. They in Vegas. Now you lose the baseball team. All you got now is Marshawn Lynch. Better hope he don't want to relocate. Because my goodness, that's all you got.
Yeah. Marvin, last thoughts on the not getting the copyright.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's for the A's, it's about assets. And as Bennett said, one of the first things that needed to do was be able to secure the actual name legally. And then when you said it was denied, my first thought was that it is too vague. I've worked with intellectual property for like 2 decades. Without question, they're going to refile. They will refile. They will add verbiage to make it specific to what they do in professional baseball, yada, yada, yada. They're going to get it. There's too much money at stake for them not to get it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's why they're going to get it at the end of the day. That's my take.
All right. Last 40 seconds or so, final thoughts, Ben.
Man, it's always a pleasure being with you two fine gentlemen. I think the greatest thing I get to do every day when I get to work with people like yourself. So I'm humbled to be on with you. I'm going to be on this train. As long as you guys will let me, I don't need to be no conductor. I could be the caboose. I'm just fine.
Last thoughts, Marvin.
Hey, guy. Yeah. Again, just fortunate to be on the show. Love being in this space, talking ball, talking sports with you guys. And yeah, Marvin on the mic. Catch me everywhere. There you go.
All right, another fun episode in the books, guys. We will be back tomorrow, 2:00. Special interview. Make sure you're locked in. Other than that,